Single dad saw a little girl searching trash on Christmas Eve and the truth left him stunned. Nathan Hayes thought Christmas Eve would be just another lonely night at work. But everything changed when he saw a small figure digging through the garbage behind his apartment building. What started as a simple act of kindness revealed a heartbreaking truth no child should ever face, and led to a transformation neither of them could have imagined. The bitter December wind cut through the night air as Nathan stepped out of his apartment building, pulling his coat tighter around him. It was 11:47 p.m., and the silence felt heavier than usual. Christmas Eve, just another shift at the security company, just another night with no one waiting for him to come home. As Nathan walked toward his car, something made him stop. Near the dumpster, a small figure was moving slowly and deliberately. He squinted through the darkness, expecting to see a stray animal. But as the shadows shifted, his breath caught in his throat. It was a child. A little girl, no more than 7 years old, was searching through the garbage with thin, trembling fingers. Her hands were red from the cold, picking through crumpled containers with the practiced familiarity of someone who had done this far too many times. Nathan moved before he understood what he was doing. "Hey there," he called softly. The girl's head snapped up, her wide brown eyes filled with terror. She clutched a half-eaten sandwich to her chest. "It's okay," Nathan said gently, lifting his hand to show he meant no harm. She didn't move. She watched him with the wary, exhausted gaze of someone who had been disappointed by adults far too often. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked. After a long moment, she whispered, "Melody." "That's a beautiful name," he said, kneeling to her level. "Are you looking for something?" Her grip on the sandwich tightened. "Food." The word hit him like a punch. "No child should be searching for food in a dumpster," he said quietly. "Not on Christmas Eve. Not ever." "Where are your parents?" Color drained from her face. I don't have any." Nathan felt something twist inside him. Something he hadn't felt in years. The instinct of a father, a part of himself he had buried deep. 3 years earlier, Nathan had been preparing to become a father. He and his wife, Sarah, had painted their nursery a soft yellow and spent their nights dreaming about names and futures. But everything had shattered when a sudden medical complication took both Sarah and their unborn son, David. Nathan had walked into the hospital with hope and left a broken shell of a man. Since then, he had lived like a ghost, avoiding people and burying himself in routine to escape the memories. But now, as he looked at this trembling child in the freezing cold, something in him cracked open. "What do you mean you don't have any?" he asked softly. Melody swallowed, tears filling her eyes. "I lived with my grandma Ruth. She was all I had after my mama left when I was a baby." Nathan waited. "She got sick 3 weeks ago," Melody continued. "She had this cough that wouldn't go away, and she was tired all the time. We didn't have money for the doctor. She just kept taking medicine from the store." Melody wiped her nose with her sleeve. "One morning, I tried to wake her up for breakfast, but she wouldn't open her eyes. I shook her and called her name, but she wouldn't wake up." Nathan felt his heart break. Her voice trembled as she went on. "People in uniforms came and took her away. They said I had to go live with new families. But none of them wanted me. They kept moving me around. The last family didn't care about me. So I walked here. It hot, maybe if I came back to our old neighborhood, Ruth might come home too." Nathan couldn't stop the tears burning his eyes. This little girl had been tossed through the system like she was nothing but paperwork. Forgotten. Abandoned. "Melody," he whispered, "how long have you been out here?" 2 days, she admitted. "I've been sleeping in the basement next door. There's a broken window I can fit through." 2 days. A 7-year-old child surviving alone in December. Nathan checked the time. 12:03 a.m. Christmas Day. "Melody," he said, "you don't have to do this alone anymore. She looked at him with confusion. Adults had made promises before. None of them lasted. I know you don't know me, Nathan continued. But I promise you this, I'm not going anywhere. Maybe it was his voice, or the honesty in his expression, but Melody's shoulders softened just a little. How about we get you somewhere warm, he said, and find you real food? She hesitated, but the cold was winning. She nodded. Nathan's apartment was small and sterile. Minimal decorations, no photos, just a functional place for a man who had stopped living life. But seeing Melody take in the warmth, he realized this home, empty as it felt to him, would seem like a palace to someone who had nothing. Let me run you a bath, he said. While she bathed, Nathan heated up soup and made grilled cheese sandwiches. Simple, but warm. When Melody came out wearing his oversized clothes, her hair clean and cheeks pink from the hot water, she looked like a child again. A fragile one, but a child nonetheless. She ate slowly, carefully, trying to make the food last. There's more, he reassured her. As much as you want. Tears welled in her eyes. Really? As she ate, Nathan thought about Sarah. About the nursery. About the life he'd lost. Maybe this moment, this little girl, was his second chance. That night, as Melody slept on the couch, he made phone calls. To Child and Family Services. To his supervisor for time off. To Mitchell, an old friend who was a lawyer. When Melody woke and saw him still there, she whispered, "You're still here." "Of course I'm still here," he said. "I told you I wasn't going anywhere." For the first time in 3 years, Nathan felt something beginning to thaw in his chest. The next weeks were a blur of paperwork, hearings, evaluations, home studies, and parenting classes. Melody stayed with him under emergency placement. Healing wasn't easy. She hoarded food, woke up screaming from nightmares, and sometimes shut down completely, expecting him to disappear. Nathan stayed through all of it. He learned to braid hair. He learned to soothe nightmares. He learned what it meant to protect someone again. And slowly, Melody began to laugh. Her first real laugh brought tears to his eyes. The day she timidly called him Dad, he had to excuse himself to cry in the bathroom. Months later, during a therapy session, Nathan said, "Before I found Melody, I was just existing. I wasn't living. She saved me. I thought I was rescuing her, but she was rescuing me, too." On the day of the adoption hearing, Melody wore her favorite purple dress. Sitting beside him outside the courtroom, she whispered, "I'm excited and nervous. Like opening a present you want really badly, but you're scared it might not be what you hoped for." "What are you hoping for?" Nathan asked. "For you to be my real dad. Forever." When their case was called, they walked in hand. Judge Hernandez read through the reports. "Mr. Hayes, when you first requested emergency guardianship, I had concerns. But every report since then says the same thing, you have dedicated yourself completely to this child." She turned to Melody. "Young lady, I understand you'd like to say something." Melody stood. "Nathan saved my life. Not just that first night, but every day since. He makes me feel safe. He braids my hair, even when he does it crooked. He keeps his promises. I know he's my real dad because he chooses me every day." A soft wave of emotion swept through the courtroom. Judge Hernandez smiled. "Then by the power vested in me by the state, I grant the petition for adoption. Nathan Hayes, you are now the legal father of Melody Hayes." The gavel struck. Melody grinned so wide it nearly split her face. "We did it," she whispered. "We did it," Nathan said, lifting her into a hug filled with 3 years of frozen grief melting into love. The scared, hungry child searching through garbage had become the light of his world. And the broken man avoiding life had found purpose again. Sometimes healing comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes the family you need isn't the one you were born into, but the one you choose, and who chooses you right back. Two broken people had found each other on the coldest night of the year, and in doing so, they healed each other. Nathan had stepped outside expecting a lonely night at work. Instead, he found his daughter, his purpose, and a second chance at love. And Melody found a father. Not the one who abandoned her, but the one who saw her when she needed it most, and stayed. In the end, what we all want is simple: to be seen, chosen, and loved unconditionally.